A Quiet Place is a 2018 American horror film that takes place in a 2020 Earth, the plot which follows a family who must live in silence while hiding from creatures that hunt by sound. It stars John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, directed by John Krasinski. It is also a movie that if you watch in theaters, you will hear every person who is snacking. Alright, so let's get into it. Dr. Thief,
All right, so
I want
here's the
you
thing.
to tell me the things.
All right, here's the thing. The movie was excellent. Nothing was wrong. The creatures looked good. The CGI was amazing, and the settings were perfect. Although I mean, they didn't leave except for like they started out in one place and then they finally went to the final place. They stayed up forever, and I was more insulted about the movie that nothing got resolved, and the only thing that happened was like people got killed off because some stupid child wasn't listening, and I mean one of them can't listen.
Also, spoilers.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna
This is
know
kind of a-
they're
this
gonna know
is-
spoilers
yeah,
anyway.
This is
So
definitely a spoiler review.
yeah, so
Well,
so yeah,
what did you like about it, though?
well I liked the acting from the deaf girl.
Oh,
She was good.
yeah.
She was very convincing. She played the child or teenager
She
basically.
definitely played the angsty teenager. Like, this is good acting. Like, you,
I got angry because she
You
was angsty. I was
definitely-
like, oh
yeah.
crap, why would you be angsty? I mean,
her acting pulled emotion from you.
yeah. So, the main lead, the male character, I forget his name.
Yeah.
He was. I liked him as an actor.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, he was good. He was good in that movie.
Yeah, plays a father. Lee
I liked the
Abbott.
mustache beard combo. That was good. He looked good in
It's a
it.
good combo.
And the child, the first child, the one that died.
Mm-hmm.
They never explained why he was like sitting down there and they were giving him medicine. They just were finding medicine. That's one of the problems.
Oh,
I
no,
have.
that was the other kid. That was the older.
The one at the beginning who was sitting down.
Yeah, that's the older boy. The one that
was
got-
that the older one?
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought that was a younger one who was like sick or something.
Maybe just sick.
One of them was sick and he just
Septic
kind
or
of was like, oh, like he's just sick and he's being carried, and the other
I think
ones.
that has to do with the plot, though.
Also, they let the child wander further back from where they're walking, so the father on the bridge had to run quite some time to get to that child.
It was still too short, not fast enough.
Yeah, so I mean, there was some plot holes. I was like, man, they could have avoided this. I mean, they've probably been at that for like. The title card said like
Yeah,
89 days, right?
It's gotta push the movie along,
But that's like a quarter of a year. So I mean, they should have enough
Yeah.
time to like literally figure this out. The kid should know that if I go out, I'm gonna get killed, or make noise. I mean,
Right.
and like I said, I had not very many problems except for the story and some of the background elements, like how did it all start? How did this stuff happen? Other than that, it was phenomenal. There's an ex machina in there that I can't remember. I just remember like there's an ex machina in this movie, and I don't like ex machinas unless they're fully explained. But overall, I give this movie a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Slightly above average. Just to let you know, there are
Oh,
no
wow.
10s whatsoever, no matter what movie, because that's impossible.
That's in the stars.
Yeah, there's no such thing. But it's above average. It's well worth the admission price, and I'm gonna let Dolphin take it over.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a solid 8.5. Yeah, an 8.5. Because from the get-go, you do get a sense of the severity. From the first sounds of when the movie starts, it's almost like an alarm and like a deep bass trembling. So it's definitely like the caution is triggered in your mind. And you get a sense of how important being quiet is from the very beginning. You notice that people are walking around with no shoes on. That's how serious it is. Little things along the way from the beginning are answered as the movie progresses. So let's say you see everybody, or who the characters that are shown aren't speaking, using sign language. You think why? Was because even talking would trigger these monsters' ability to hear you, right? Because their hearing is just that sensitive. And something as little as, going back to the little kid, a toy is dangerous, it's life threatening. And when you see these people walking out of what looks like a drugstore, I think it was like a drugstore, right?
I think it was like a
pharmacy,
yeah,
like a CVS situation,
or a Walgreens,
yeah.
a small like
But
grocery
it's
store.
much smaller, but definitely a small town kind of store.
A general
you see
store
that
is what we should
there's
say.
sand everywhere. There's sand trails, and later on you learn that they put that there because they live relatively close by enough to leave a trail, and that sand doesn't put out as much sound, right? Because you just sink right into it. So little stuff like that is answered later throughout the movie. You see the father, Lee Abbott, played by John Krasinski, just with a big ass bag of sand, just laying it down over a water puddle, right, to cover it up.
I thought he was laying it down over that dead raccoon that thing killed.
It could have been a blood puddle, water puddle.
I don't remember.
Regardless,
I just remember
he's laying it down.
He was quickly shaking that
yeah,
bag to get the crap out.
It was very. It's like you can feel how serious everything is, from when even something as simple as later on in the movie the kids are playing Monopoly, and a lantern is tipped over, and it sounds loud as crap in the theater because everything has been quiet thus far, and of course it triggers a creature to come and check it out.
Of course, I do have problems that deaf girl. Yeah, she did so good at acting, but she made all the noise. Despite the little child, not making the noise himself, she gave him the toy, and he just took the batteries with it.
Yeah.
When the mom and dad said no because you make too much noise.
Yeah.
And she's like, here, you can have this. And I was like, oh, why would you give the kid the toy? You know he's going to turn it on with the batteries. And I could call out all the tips and twists and turns in this movie before it happened. I said, oh, well, it was pretty predictable. That's why I gave it a low score. I knew things like this was going to happen. It's probably just because I've seen too many movies like this, and that's probably going to give it a lower score.
Well,
But I have to compare it to other movies. If not, then, I just go see every movie that came out. I don't want to do that, so continue on. Sorry, my bad.
I was like, also, I want to say like the best sequence of events are definitely Emily Blunt's the mother. I forgot her name, but her character, the pregnancy scene. From the very beginning, where when the water first breaks, and she's heading downstairs, and she steps on the nail. From that get go, her acting is amazing. Like I almost winced at her acting because you could kind of feel the pain, and you understand like the struggle, and she's a genuine badass. And like in this movie, that character is a badass. She saved herself, had the baby, and was still able to keep on trucking afterwards, which is not an easy thing to do.
To be honest, I thought she was gonna die once she had the baby because I was like, oh, well, something's gonna happen. And then she didn't get ripped apart. That monster, or whatever they call it.
The creature.
Yeah, the creature, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I thought she was gonna die. But yes, I did feel that pain when she stepped on the nail. I thought, oh my god. The lady next to me was sitting. She was like cringing. Like,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's
like,
me. That was me.
Even
right
though
there.
you know it's coming, it still catches you. And
and I was like, please don't. I was like, I don't want to see the scene, to be honest, because I know it's gonna happen. It's gonna be gross and gross. She got past that scene too.
Oh yeah, it was good. The whole thing was good. It did have its moments where it'll punch you right in the feels, especially between the towards the end when there is definitely a father-daughter moment, and you I guess as a teenager most people understand there is a times where you have feelings of not unrequited because you love your parents and you know your parents love you to an extent, right? But it doesn't really come out as much the older you get, right? The I love yous don't come out as much, and there is a moment of that at the end of the movie.
Almost like you start to bear your feelings when you get older, and she was starting to do that, but it was coming out as a teenage way.
Yeah, just angry.
Yeah, just
coming out.
Anger. So she got up and left, and I at first I thought she was running away. I was like, she's just gonna run away, not come back. But she ran to the grave of the dead brother, and laid there. all day, not making a noise, but you know, it really made me like, oh, that makes me sad because she was.
It kind of makes me think it's like probably his like anniversary of his death or something.
Yeah, pretty close because I mean it was like a year later.
Yeah, it was a little bit over a year later. It was like day 489 or something.
Yeah, it was like
good, well over a year. Yeah.
So.
It was very. I thought it was a very good movie, and I didn't even know that this movie was directed by John Krasinski until the end. The first title that comes up is directed by John Krasinski. And I was like, dang, Jim moved up.
Finally.
Jim moved up.
He got his dues.
He got his, man. I think I'm glad that he moved away from the comedy movies. What was that movie he did with that one singer? Just Married or something?
I didn't see that movie.
License to Wed. That's
Oh,
what it
yeah,
was.
okay, I saw
License to Wed with Robin Williams, right?
Good.
Okay, kind of funny, yeah. But then he got into his more serious roles. Like I think the last one I remember watching with him was 13 Hours. That's probably a 9 out of 10 movie. That was really, really good.
I have not seen 13 Hours, sir.
So whenever Dr. Thief here watches 13 Hours, we'll probably give you our feedback on that one. But yeah, definitely. I would say go watch A Quiet Place. I enjoyed it. I guess.
I also enjoyed it. Okay, I don't hate it at all. I enjoy the movie quite a bit. It's just I was disappointed with some of the things they went to after seeing the trailers. I thought something completely different was going to happen. There's one part of the movie where the creature goes underwater, which I had a problem with. And it went underwater and acted like it could hear more noise.
Yeah.
When in reality, that was like no noise.
I don't think that would work in reality. Yeah, that was very interesting.
And that there's like a waterfall coming from like the second floor, the first floor, and it's falling into the basement. And the wife is like, "I gotta get out of here," and she sees the creature. And I'm like, how'd that creature get in? And not like, oh, it's loud in here. I gotta get out. And I was like, that was one of the big plot holes.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Also, I also had one thing that grind my gears about this. All right,
grind gears.
These things don't see, and they get close enough to where you can literally be face to face with one. And I'm assuming, you know, it's America. People have guns. Why it never occurred to people, especially because if these creatures are armored. When their face literally opens up and exposes red meat.
To not shoot that or hurt it?
I was to just blast it in the red meat side.
That's what I was thinking.
Which is something that comes up towards the end. Because the creature is like, what is it? I want to say discombobulated. I don't even know if that's a real word.
That face
it's incapacitated, it's like, essentially, by a frequency, right? A sound. And the face is exposed. But whenever it's listening, it literally exposes its ear hole.
It exposes whole face.
Yeah, like the whole face is open.
And no one shot at that?
Blast at the red meat, right?
So...
aside from that, that's my only disappointing thing about this movie. But, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I highly recommend everyone else go take a look at this film. It was nice.
It was pretty good.
Very, very good.
Right.
Well, that concludes this. What are we calling these things now?
Let's just call them
Showductions.
Showduction.
Mm-hmm. And this is our Dolphin and the Thief Productions movie review. Later, guys.
All right.